In these modern times, smartphones have become a quintessential part of daily life. We use them as our GPS, games machine, for social media, and even occasionally a way to make a good old-fashioned phone call. They've become such an integral part of our lives that many of us have a little panic attack if we realise we've left home without it. But have we stopped to consider how dangerous the very thing we love so much could be? Then consider this. Self-related deaths, that's right, you heard me correctly, selfie-related deaths have now become more common than shark attacks. Here are the top 10 bizarre ways people have died to their much-loved phones. How many times do you see people glued to their phones, walking through cities and parks, even crossing roads? We've all been guilty of it at some point, but normally manage to tear ourselves away before any real harm comes. Unfortunately for Joshua Burwell, he was too late to save himself. On Christmas Day 2015, Joshua visited San Diego's Sunset Cliffs, a popular tourist spot, to watch the sunset. On that fateful day, however, it seems Burwell was so glued to his phone he didn't realise how close to the edge he was walking, until he fell off the edge, falling 60 feet.
About the dangers of distracted walking as well as distracted driving. A guy was so enamored by a San Diego sunset, or the device in his hands that he would have used to take a picture of it, that he walked right off a cliff and died. Authorities say the guy in his 30s was at the well-known scenic spot Sunset Cliff. But witnesses say as the man was walking, he was looking at the device in his hands and he went right over. Bystanders rushed to help, but the guy had fallen 60 feet down. Police used his death as a warning about the dangers of distracted walking as well as distracted driving.
For those of us prone to losing or misplacing our phones, tracking apps seems to be the perfect answer. But it could also be one of the worst things for you. On February 2016, a 23-year-old man from Birmingham, Alabama, had his iPhone stolen. Luckily, or so he thought, he remembered he had a tracking app installed. He used the app to quickly look up his phone and discover exactly where it was. Feeling confident in its location, he headed to it, the parking lot of a suburban Baptist church. Using the phone's app, he made his phone ring and heard it coming from inside the car parked next to him. As he started going into the car to retrieve his phone, a man shot and killed him. Police Chief Leon Davis stressed that anyone using a tracking app should always alert the police and let them do their job. Never take matters into your own hands. Driving is an often romanticised activity. The joy of the open road, riding with the top down, the pleasure of a sunny drive. Many of us feel so confident we tend to stray into bad habits, becoming distracted drivers. In modern times, one major cause of distraction is texting whilst driving, which can lead to tragic results. Just such an incident happened on August the 5th, 2010, when a 19-year-old man from Missouri was taking his normal morning commute along the highway. He then rammed his pickup into the back of a truck, causing a school bus to crash into the back of his pickup and a second school bus to crash into the back of the first. Upon investigating his cell phone records, it was found he'd sent 5 texts at the time of the crash. For the majority of us, answering the phone is second nature, something that seems as run-of-the-mill as breathing. When answering her phone in 2013, May Aylan, a 23-year-old woman from Chyna, probably felt much the same. According to her sister, who was present at the time, she had connected her iPhone to the charger, just as she had many times before when she heard the phone ring, and went to answer it, still connected to the charger. She was electrocuted as she answered, falling to the floor. She was dead before reaching the hospital. Apple quickly started an investigation to find the cause, although it has been suggested the charger was not a genuine Apple charger. It's always important to be aware of your surroundings when using your mobile phone, and that's no more true than when you're in public, and especially a pedestrian crossing a busy road. How many of us have seen people glued to their phones, oblivious to what's going on around them, not knowing how close to danger they could be? In 2015, a woman in Zhongshan, China, was casually crossing the street. Something she did every day. Not devoting her full attention to the passing traffic, she was looking down at her phone and made it across one, but then was struck by a large truck in the next lane, which knocked her onto the lane she'd just crossed. Having no time to gather herself and get up, she was instantly crushed underneath a similar oncoming truck, which had very little time to react to her being in the street. The woman was killed on impact. Few things induce sudden panic than that heart-stopping moment when you drop your phone onto the road or hard surface, or something you know could damage it. Plenty of people would do things they would never normally do to retrieve a dropped phone, and here's a perfect example. In 2013, Roger Miro told one of his neighbours he'd accidentally dropped his phone down the building's trash chute. He was asking around for a key to the trash room, which he eventually gained access to, hoping to retrieve his phone from the trash compactor. After 3 hours of not seeing or hearing from her husband, Miro's wife filed a missing persons report with the police. After talking to residents in the apartment complex, investigators went to the trash room and discovered that the lock had been removed from the door. When they went in, they found a ladder leading up to the top of the trash compactor. Sadly, they located Miro's crushed, lifeless body inside. We all know how important our cell phones are to us, but some things are more important. A perfect case of this is Wendy Rybolt of Bartonville, Illinois. She was in the position of having her home catch fire while she and her teen daughter were in the home. Luckily, they were both able to get out with no injury, as the flames scorched everything around them. Then Rybolt realised she'd left her phone inside the home, so she ran back inside to retrieve it. She couldn't escape the fire a second time. It is difficult to go anywhere nowadays without seeing people taking selfies, and they now account for the majority of phone photos. The uprise of the selfie has led to selfie culture, where people try and one-up everyone else for the ultimate selfie. But the desire for the perfect selfie can sometimes come with deadly consequences. Anna Ursu, an 18-year-old girl from Bucharest, Romania, is a good example of this. In May 2015, Ursu, like many people her age, was trying to get the perfect selfie. Anna and her friend decided to go to a train yard to take some photos. One of them suggested that they climb atop a train car and take pictures there. Ursu's friend said that things were going well until Ursu grabbed a wire on top of the train while trying to snap a selfie. The wire was live and extremely high voltage. Ursu was immediately electrocuted. The voltage was so powerful that she burst into flames. The girl was quickly transported to Bucharest Burns Hospital in hopes to save her life, but her injuries were too severe. We go out of our way to protect our phones. We buy cases, screen protectors, and all manner of other accessories to prevent our devices from being damaged. But is it possible we need protection from our smartphones? In 2010, Gopal Gujar of India was in his field, herding his cattle and talking on his Nokia mobile phone as he'd done plenty of times before. However, on this occasion, the phone exploded while he was holding it to his ear, killing him. One of the most basic things a child needs from their parent is someone to be there for them when they're in imminent danger. But as we know, this is the case, as there are neglectful parents over the world.
Witnesses told police the mother whose children drowned in an Irving swimming pool did not even realize her children went under until someone else told her. Good evening. I'm Clarice Tinsley.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes. Here's Patricia Denise Allen in between police interviews. June 24th, the same day 3 of her children were fatally injured. She was arrested today on an injury to a child charge, and the witnesses also told police she was paying more attention to her phone than her children. First here at 9, Brandon Todd is at the Irving Police Department with the drownings investigation. Brandon.
And that's the end of today's Top 10 list. If you like BuzzBox, feel free to subscribe to keep updated of the latest videos. Thanks for watching.